In this video, I will be taking this alternator apart and I will be converting it into a motor. Okay, now I'm going to take the back part of this motor out and I will be converting it into a motor, almost like a brushless motor. And I will step you step by step in exactly what you need to do to make it happen. So I will go ahead and take this little bolt off in the end, and then now I'm going to take out this plastic. Alright, now that the lid is off, we have the brushes right there. There's some diodes here. Looks like there's the coils. There's 3 coming from the alternator. Looks like this alternator in particular is wired in a delta configuration. So I would need to take this plastic off and this diode rectifier off. Okay, now I'll be taking off this bridge rectifier. I'm going to be cutting the terminals here where the coils come in, and I'll be taking all of this out, maybe even this, and then I don't know if you can hear the squeal. Those are the brushes squealing to the center. I think it's called the rotor or the armature. That's the inside of the alternator that spins. Bearings are a little noisy. So I bought this alternator used. It was like 20 bucks. Actually $23 with shipping included, so it wasn't that much of a loss. But I will go ahead and cut these here. These are just copper terminals. There's 1, 2, 3. So this alternator is wired in a delta configurations. So those are the coils coming up there. So the 3 coils. And there I don't see any more terminals coming from the inside of the alternator. Okay, so if you have the Torx wrench, you would need to take out these little screws, bolts, whatever they are. I don't have a Torx sockets, so I will have to try to use the pliers and see if I can get them off. I should be able to. They normally don't. They normally don't tighten them up too tight. Oh yeah, these are coming off. Alright, so I'll take them off. I'm going to go ahead and maybe loosen all of them. I don't know if you can see that good, but I wonder if this comes off. It kind of sticks out inconveniently. Alright, one down. So this is now loose. Let me see if I can use my hands. Not quite. It's still really tight. Okay, that is out. And this is the regulator, looks like maybe right here somewhere. This is a regulator. And this can be actually twisted off. And that's gone. Now, all that's left to do is to remove these diodes. I will go ahead and take out these two more screws, bolts, whatever they are. Okay, now I'm gonna remove this very last. Okay, so it looks like the diodes are in here, this big heat sink, and all of this you don't need. So this can be taken out. Now, I put this little bolt back in so it can hold these brushes. So the next step is for me, I'm gonna wire in wires for these three terminals, so that way I can actually test this out to see how it works. So if you want this to be a stronger motor, you would need to wire in the brushes here. I should probably take this out so you can see. So I'm going to take the screw out, and there's two brushes that hit the armature of this alternator, and this is what energizes the middle part of the alternator, and that becomes a magnet. And whenever you send I guess pulses of electricity to the outer coils, and that what generates the repelling force to the middle part of the alternator, and it makes the alternator spin. Okay, now in this next part, I'm going to test this out to make sure that it works. I will go ahead and wire up some wires to this, and I will connect this to a speed controller and see if we can get it to spin. So the first things first, I need to get a file, and I'll need to file away good contacts for soldering. Okay, now that those are filed away, I will put some flux on them and begin the soldering process. Alright, this is kind of dirty inside. I will take a screw and I will just dab a little bit. Maybe quite a bit on here, because I do want the solder to stick. Put that right there. I will go ahead and close this up. I won't need that anymore. Alright, now I have some shrink tubing here, and I have some more shrink tubing here. This is a bigger one. Alright, now let's go ahead and start soldering. So I have these, let me grab them. I have these 3 wires. And actually I forgot to add flux to these. So we'll just dip them in here just to get some. Just like that. Whoops. And now I will put some of the shrink tubing to cover those up. I will cut about 1 inch. Well, looks like I can actually use a little bit less. So for this one, I will cut a little bit less. Okay. And I will just feed it through the wire. Okay, and then the last one. Alright, now I'll just use a soldering iron to string these up. Alright, now those are nicely covered up, and now on this other end I will put these banana clips to make them easy to connect. I will put 3 male connectors. These are 3.5 millimeter. I will put the link in the description. Alright, now I will need to solder these on top. And okay, so this is going to be hot. I don't really want to touch it. But I will scoop some of that flux in there. And then Alright, that one's done. Okay, I'm going to put the string tubing Alright, all three are wired up. I'm going to give it 2 amps. Looks like that slowed down the motor a little bit. I'm going to give it 3 amps. I'm going to up the voltage to maximum.